Okay, hello everyone. This is Square Triangle Mouse, and today we're playing Civilization IV Rhyes and Fall, the historical scenario. We're going with the historical victory of Babylon. So we're not going to use unique units or unique buildings or even the unique ability. We have to be first to writing Code of Laws and Monarchy, and we have to be the most cultured city and the most populous city by turn 86. That's quite fast. So the whole game is going to take like 15 minutes. We are playing monarch difficulty. I think it's the best one. Challenging enough, but not extremely difficult. So we have to settle on place. There is no option there. Build a worker at first, because Babylon has to be the most populous city, the most cultured city. And if you move, you're not going to build Babylon, so you cannot move your settler. You have to beeline writing. Again, there is not much of a choice there. You have to get to writing as fast as possible. China is going to go there as well. If they decide to beeline writing, they will get there before you do, because on this difficulty you just can't beat them. So you will get to writing on turn 27. At that point you should check the victory conditions, and if you lost, then you lost, and just restart. It's going to be just a few minutes anyway, so it's not a big deal if you have to restart there. As you can see, the first thing I do with my warrior is to get a hut that is a little bit north of India, so around Pakistan, I think. And I usually go for some gold. In this case I got a scout, which isn't really useful. So what I'm going to do is return to Babylon with my warrior and send a scout to see if we can get another hut. You don't really need to do that. You can win this game with 0 gold. So if you don't want to do this, don't do it. I just do it because it's a little bit more fun. It gives me something to do with my warrior in those first few turns, in which there is really nothing to do otherwise. My scout is going to go for a few huts that you can find. One in the Balkans, and I think the other one is in Turkey, close to Istanbul, I think. I don't remember exactly. So anyway, this commentary is being recorded after the game, so you can see. This is because I tried this a couple of times. Remember that there are a few factors you cannot control in this unique victory, and one of them is the Chinese. There is nothing you can do about China. So if they get to writing before you do, that's it, you lost. Deal with it. And just restart. Again, it's just a few minutes. We're almost getting there. I think at this point we're on turn 23. As you can see, I don't really know what I'm doing with that scout. I didn't really remember at this point which was the fastest way. We built a cottage on the stone because we are not going to use a stone. We are going to use marble though, so I'm not cottaging the marble. I am cottaging only the stone and then a normal floodplain, an empty one. You should always start like that. This first 27 turns, there really isn't much to do. Now you have to get mysticism. Check, of course, on turn 27 if you still have the chance to win. And at this point you should save the game, because if you do anything wrong later on, you want to start from this point, from turn 27. There is really nothing different you can do on the first 27 turns. There was an edit there because I saved the game. And then the moment you have writing, you change from granary to library. You don't need the granary so urgently anyway, and you want that library to start developing culture. That was an event that gives you oil, which is completely unnecessary. And I don't really know why I moved my scout away from the hut there. I think that was a mistake. Anyway, you can see eventually I got that hut and I got the gold, 53 gold. So what do you want the gold for? Not much, really. as I said, you can win the game without that gold. The thing is, if Sur flips to you and you have some gold, you can keep it. And you can maybe produce a few warriors for your capital.
Nature herself has imprinted on the minds of all.
After mysticism we go for masonry, as you can see. That's very important. We're going to need masonry very soon. You don't want to go to masonry through mining because you don't need mining at all, so it's a huge waste of turns and you're not going to win. At this point I'm building a road because I will want to hook up those that wheat resource on the east. That tile is eventually going to become mine through cultural influence, so I'm building a road to get to that wheat. And that scout is still exploring around. He got another hat with a little bit more gold, but at that point, as you can see, there's another city there. There's nothing else I can do with this scout, so I'm just disbanding it. It's really useless at that point, and I don't want to waste any more time moving him. Some micromanagement, always good. Make sure you're doing the best out of your territory. I'm, as you can see, getting as much food as possible I want to grow. To size 4. Here I have one extra turn before masonry, so I'm using it to one turn of road building, so I don't waste that turn with the worker. And I'm changing that to get a few more hammers because I want the library before I get to priesthood.
It is from their foes.
As you can see now, I'm going to beeline priesthood to build the oracle. It's very important. You need the oracle to win this game, to win the historical victory of Babylon. You cannot win it without the oracle. So, apparently I changed my mind, or I didn't. I'm considering whether it's better to grow to size 5. You can grow all the way to size 5 before monarchy, but not above that because you don't have enough happiness. So I decided that it's not a big deal. I can get later to size 5 and build the library instead. I really want that culture. You don't have much time and you need to build a lot of culture because India is going to build religions, and Egypt is probably going to build a Stonehenge, so they will have culture. You need to beat all of those guys and you don't have much time to do it. So yeah, try not to waste any turns. You see there, a barbarian city has been invaded by and destroyed by Sur. That's fine. We don't care much about it.
Meditation
but the barbarians may attack you. They usually don't. They have to be fighting Sur, but they might attack you. So it's a good thing that Sur has destroyed them. And apparently I got my marble at this point. So I got some extra production that will help me building my library a bit faster. I could now move that to more food, but I decided that I really want that library for priesthood, and I think eventually I'm even going to get the granary before the oracle. So I keep building that road to hook up that wheat. You can see that the wheat is already in my territory. If that city, the city south of the wheat, if it flips to you, you should not keep that one. Even if you have the gold from the huts, you really should not keep that one, because it's in Persian territory.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you.
It can be a problem later on when Persia appears. You see that I'm getting animal husbandry before monarchy. Of course, the oracle is going to be in Court of Laws. And I'm getting animal husbandry before monarchy, which seems counterintuitive because you need to be first to monarchy, but I have time for monarchy. And I'm going to need animal husbandry as soon as possible because I need to hook up those sheep afterwards. This is because, as you can see, we're already having health issues in Babylon, and we need to be the most populous city in turn 86, so we cannot afford those health issues. We need those sheep as soon as possible. And that's why I'm hooking at that wheat, even though it's not in the fat cross of Babylon. I cannot work it, but I need the wheat just for the health that it's going to give me, since I have the granary already built. I'm going to send that worker to the pasture there. I don't need a road because the ship is on the river and I'm on the same river, so the oracle is built. I have code of laws, and now I'm going to do a revolution to a caste system. Now you might be tempted to, you don't need to build anything else really, just some warriors to keep happiness when you get monarchy. Now, you will be tempted to go for monarchy before animal husbandry, so you can do just one revolution instead of two. But oddly enough, that's really not the most efficient way of doing things here. Doing 2 revolutions is actually more efficient because it will allow you to get that chip faster. So I really don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm in anarchy, so I didn't realize I was in anarchy, and I just put all those artists there because obviously I wasn't getting any food anyway. I think that's actually useless, but whatever. So at this point I don't want to grow beyond 5, sorry, because I don't have the happiness for it. I don't have a monarchy yet. So being stagnant is good enough. I have some artists there. I'm checking whether I can get a great artist, because 1 culture bomb is enough to get all the culture that you need, but you will see that you don't really need that great artist. You don't need the culture bomb. You can win without it, but you need to work some artists anyway, because those guys will give you some culture, and that few points of cultures that I'm getting with those specialists can be the difference between winning or losing. You really don't have much time. We're already beyond turn 70, and we only have time until turn 86. This is very, very, very quick. I'm building some warriors because I know I'm going to change to hereditary rule, and I realize I'm getting hereditary rule in only 3 turns, so I will be able to grow to size 6 very soon. So that's why I remove 1 specialist and put some food. Okay, you need the size. Now the health issues are gone thanks to that ship and the wheat. That's why that road to the wheat was so important. Now I'm removing my specialists. I want to grow as soon as possible. It's a very difficult balance between growing and getting the culture from those artists. You need both things, so it's not easy. I got that guy to build some roads because really there was nothing else to do. At this point you don't need anything else. You don't need more commerce, you don't need more anything. I'm adopting hereditary rule, and now I'm going to start, you can take anything at this point in the game. I put alphabet so it takes a long time and the game doesn't bother me anymore because I don't want to waste time. You don't need any more technologies. Now it's just about winning. There was an event there that helped me getting alphabet, or well, you can get 1 extra science in your library, which would be good for a long game, but obviously this is very short, so I don't really care about it. I'm checking the top 5 cities, and you see here there is a city with 6 population. We have to beat that 6 population, so we need to get at least to 7 population in Babylon. Otherwise we are not going to win the game. So we are growing. I'm getting all that food and not getting those hammers. I don't need hammers at all at this point in the game. We don't need to build anything else. We have enough warriors anyway. 3 warriors is enough for 8, a population of 8, which is usually good enough to win the game. I'm building another warrior. It's really not needed. Persia is not going to attack me anyway. If you don't flip that city, chosen to your empire, Persia will not attack you. So that's fine. I mean, at least not so soon, not before you win. Make sure you do that micromanagement, otherwise the mayor will do some stupid shit. I see here that with, okay, I'm already good with 7, but I will have time for 1 more population. I'm going to get to size 8, which is good, even though I kept one artist there for some extra culture. And I'm building a monument, which I won't have time to finish anyway. And that's about it. We're going to grow to size 8. The artist that we are still working is giving me some additional culture. You see that momentarily when Persia appeared, they conquered that city, or that city flipped to Persia, and I lost the wheat. So I'm having health issues again. So I'm going to lose the artist for 1 turn. So I make sure I grow to 6-8, because if another city gets to 6-7 and ties, you actually lose the game. You don't win if you're tying. You have to give up. Now I got the wheat back. That's good. I'm going to grow in 1 turn anyway. I want some extra food. Why do I want some extra food? Well, I have it from the granary anyway. But why is it so good? Because now I already size 8. I know I won't have time to grow to size 9, so that's as much as I will get, and I have 2 turns, so I can just, you know, run tons of artists. I'm losing there something like 13 or 16 food units, but I can afford it. I will not lose 1 population this turn, so I won a lot of culture in that turn with all those artists. That's good. I don't want that city anymore, but well, I can keep it. It's not Persian territory. It will give me some extra points when I win the game, but it doesn't have time to do anything. Now I am losing population. I don't want to lose population. I want to be size 8 to make sure I win the game. So I'm getting some food there. I'm still losing population. There you go. There we have some orange bar there, which means I'm not losing all of our food. Apparently there's no one above size 6. Maybe there's a city with size 7 that doesn't have much culture, that's why it's not there. Beijing is usually size 7, or even Delhi sometimes gets to size 7. But it's very rare that the AI manages to get a city to size 8. So if you're size 8, you're usually safe. And that's it. Historical victory. Those artists gave me the culture I needed, plus the 8 culture per turn from the Oracle, and 2 more from the library. That's good enough. And you win the historical victory. That's how you do it. Remember, get animal husbandry before monarchy, even though it sounds crazy, it sounds like a waste of time to do 2 revolutions instead of 1, but that's really the only way to do it. If you go for monarchy first, you're not going to get that sheep on time, you're going to have health issues for too much time, and you are not going to win the game. Unless you're very, very lucky, but usually it just won't happen. So yeah, you cannot deviate much from this way of doing it. You don't have time to deviate. 15 minutes of gameplay, 86 turns, and that's it. This is probably the fastest victory in Civilization without doing any exploits or any weird stuff. You can see in culture I'm almost at the same level as India, even though I played pretty much a 1 city challenge almost all of the game. Babylon, population 8, Oracle, that was enough really. I didn't even need a great person to culture bomb or anything like that. So that's it guys, that's the unique historical victory. You can go up to 10,000 points, not too bad.